All right, so at this point, we're going to start going through these and kind of listening to try and identify the different things that are happening. So I know that for sure they had a boom and a lav. So I'm actually going to make a couple new audio tracks. Control Shift N. I'm going to make 2 new mono audio tracks. And I'm going to color code these. I'm going to call one the boom. Control Shift Enter, and then 1 the lav. So at this point, my goal is to go through and find the boom channel and to start with making that sound as good as I can. And then the parts where that doesn't work, I'm going to bring in the lav. So again, I'm just going to start going through these, and then Shift S for solo, and that's where the gold's going to be.
Why did you and Daddy split up?
All right, here we go. So
why did you and Daddy split up? I mean, I know that it was another woman, but
sounds like
why did you
lav.
and Daddy split up? I mean, I know that it was another woman, but why did you and Daddy split up? I mean, I know that it was another.
Okay, so this is definitely a lav on her. I'm actually going to go ahead and make 2 lav channels. I'm just going to do an Alt Shift D. And it's going to bring up the duplicate channel. It's going to duplicate the track information and not the actual playlist.
I mean, I know that it was another woman, but was that all?
Is that not enough?
Well, I mean, an affair is normally a symptom, not a problem.
I found your father's girlfriend to be a problem.
So that's hers.
Why did you and Daddy split up? I mean, I know that it was another woman, but
Okay, yep. So the way to tell is, so this is a close shot on her. I'll just kind of show you the shot real quick. This is a close shot on her. So this could either be, and she's only talking, so this could either be the lav or the boom. So I'm kind of waiting for the flip of the view or the flip of the camera to listen to see if I've got this soloed and I think that that's her lav. When this other lady's talking, I'm not going to be able to hear her very well. So see how it's distant there. I know that this is her lav.
Found your father's girlfriend to be a
And then this, I can hear both of them.
well, I mean, an affair is normally a symptom, not a problem.
I found your father's girlfriend to be a problem.
So this is actually the boom channel because I can hear both of them. It means that the sound mixer was shooting the shotgun at her, or the microphone shotgun at her. And then when this close shot changes over here, he flips over and points the microphone at her. So we can hear both of them on this track. So that's a big thing, identifying which one's the boom. And like I said, we're going to kind of try and work through the boom first, and then we'll go to the lavs. So I can kind of go through and process this as a group. I'm just going to start with the boom channel.
Why did you and Daddy split up? I mean, I know that it was another woman, but
All right, I'm going to move that off and close this guy. And all right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and bring out my meter just so I can kind of see what's up with how loud I am.
why did you and Daddy split up?
There they are.
I mean, I know that it
So
was
it's pretty
another
low
woman,
here.
but was that all?
Communicate.
So it's pretty low.
Grew apart.
So we're going to go through and start gaining stuff up.
I mean, I know that it was another
Again,
woman.
I'm kind of
but
trying to just get up to around -24. It doesn't have to be perfect.
I mean, I know that it was another woman, but was that all?
Is that not enough?
Well,
All
I
right,
mean,
so what
an
I'm going to
affair is-
do is at this point, I'm going to kind of decide what would be a good general amount to boost this, because I'm not just going to apply that to this file. What I want to do is basically come through and gain every one of these clips the same amount, especially because these are all shot in the same room. And what that's going to do is it's going to provide a pretty similar noise profile. So as I'm gaining up their vocals, I'm also gaining up the noise in the room. And what I want as a dialogue editor is to have as much consistent noise as possible. So as I turn this up 15 dB, as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and boost this 15 the same amount. Now I could group this whole thing together and do that. But instead what I'm doing is clip by clip. That way I'm preserving the crossfade, or where the cut happens. A big reason for this is a lot of times, and this shot doesn't look like it does it, but a lot of times what will happen is the audio will get cut right with the shot where they flip the shot to the other person. What this does is creates somewhat of a jarring sound. So a lot of times in dialogue editing, what you want to do is actually extend the file just a little bit past the cut mark in the video. So that way the audio and the video are cutting at different points, and it makes it more seamless. For now, I'm just going to leave that where it is.
Not a problem.
I found your father's girl.
It's a pretty good spot right there.
I found your father's girlfriend to be
I'm
a
going to go ahead
problem.
and fade that one.
I found your father's girlfriend to be a problem.
So her vocal's a little bit lower, but since the noise profile should be the same, I'm going to deal with that later. I want the noise more than the dialogue to all hit exact. Right now, I want the noise to be consistent, so that I can process that as more of a streamlined thing when we get into the noise reduction. This is why it's really important as a sound mixer in the field who's recording audio. What I like to do is, once I get a pretty general gain setting, I like to leave that for the whole scene. Even if it's a little bit low or a little bit, high. Obviously you don't want it to be distorted. But especially if it's low. If I like to set it during rehearsal, and then you gotta leave it where it is. Otherwise, if you're adjusting your gain, your actual trim, through the whole scene, the dialogue editor is going to have a lot tougher time going through and finding noise profiles for each gain setting that you have.
I have a cat.
Okay, so we can see that there was only one boom
Is the
rocking on this.
I have a cat.
So the boom's aimed at her. The lady's responding in the same take.
Is the companionship?
I have a cat.
So that's where that distant sound is. And that's going to be the instance where we're going to need to bring that lav up. Cool. So at this point, I'm going to go through, since I've got all this stuff, gain the same. I've listened to the crossfades to make sure there's no bumping.
I found your
It's
father's
natural. It happens in a way that, let's see how that one's
We didn't communicate.
a little bit different. A little bit of difference is fine,
that's your-
because we're going to be working in RX next. So
Okay.
I am
I'm not
wasting
super
my
picky
time
about it,
chasing
but
something
as long as it's not jarring.
Just
Yeah, see, but it does exist.
Cool. All right. So we've got all the boom evened out, gained it all the same so that our noise profile stays the same. At this point, we're going to introduce RX4. And what we'll do with this is basically we need to select what we want to process in RX4. I'm leaving this on this track on purpose. So I'm going to take this selection and I'm going to hit send.